Hey guys, Ollie's Big Picture here, and today I want to take you with me on one of those famous original bazaars here in Xinjiang. Be aware of there gonna be a lot of dead animals because it's basically their culture and they consume a lot of meat. I also made some other videos about Xinjiang, about Wulumuchi and about the city Hotan where the bazaar is taking place. Definitely check them out in my video description, but without further ado, let's start. When we arrived at the market, the first thing we saw is this super big, it's a restaurant, yes, it's a restaurant with a lot of meat here, and the meat is freshly cut and used.
Ja, der macht
Das ist
Hähnchen.
Massenmord, das ist Massenvernichtung. Ich stehe hier gerade in dem Rauch der toten Tiere. Es gibt nichts Schlimmeres zu
And
sehen.
you can see they were basically cutting a small piece by piece down, and this is how they use those kind of lambs. This is all sheep or lamb, how you want to call it. They are using it directly, very efficient, putting those small pieces into this dough and make basically bread filled with meat out of it. They make a lot of those in this kind of oven, as you can see here, the very old traditional way. This is the final product. This is everything the restaurant is serving. This bread with the meat inside, and you can also pay with WeChat or Alipay. You don't need cash. And I realized after traveling for 5 days in Xinjiang, I forgot my wallet back home in Shanghai. I didn't use my wallet for the whole trip because I could just use my phone for everything. I was just traveling with my passport and my phone to pay and book for everything. And then we sit down here in the restaurant. We had some small tea they gave us, and they gave us this bread with the meat inside. Very delicious, very heavy. Another famous dish they sell everywhere is this shao kao, like barbecue sticks, or they call it cow roe, what is very famous, and we ate every day. Every day we were eating those barbecue sticks. Another famous thing, especially in Hotan, was apparently this big pieces of meat from the lamb they put in the oven and they fry it in their own fat, and it's super delicious. Of course, they also have vegetables, a lot of different vegetables. Also, I find most of them in Germany. It's like a lot of potatoes, cucumbers, and they also have a lot of onions and carrots. But I was a little bit surprised about the size. Like you can see here, those carrots were really huge. I have no idea if this is normal, if it's supposed to be like this. Talking about huge, the whole market was really huge. It was like their Sunday bazaar or Sunday market, and all the different farmers came there to sell their products. Of course, you could also buy like clothes, like those traditional hats. The men's are usually wearing, I'm not sure if it's my style, and I found very interesting this kind of clothes bus. Like it's a self-driving bus, not self-driving, but it's a driving bus. You see the steering wheel in front, and this guy basically has a store in this bus to sell everything. I'm not sure if this is legal to drive on European or American streets, but here apparently they can just drive around with this one. Another big section of the market was the livestock. Here you can see the kitties and the dogs. Don't worry, as far as I could understand, those kitties and dogs were not for eating. You can see here they were selling and buying them for basically being pets. And then they had a huge section of another livestock for birds, all the kind of different birds you can see here. Beside the pigeons, of course, they were also selling chickens and goose. And we asked them, one chicken costs around 60 renminbi, what is about $8. I have no idea how much is a living chicken in Germany. I never tried to buy one. I usually buy my chicken in the supermarket already processed. But here, one grown-up chicken is about $8 to buy. Besides the chicken, they were also selling those rabbits. I think they used the rabbits also for eating. I was quite surprised to see the rabbits because usually in China they eat everything, you get everything, but it's very hard and not easy to find rabbit on the menu. While actually in Germany sometimes we also have rabbit on the menu. Like for example, I always love to have the rabbit from my grandma. It's super delicious. Besides the livestock, of course, we also checked out the other section where they sell, for example, the rice and the noodles. I find in the north of China and in the west of China they consume mainly noodles, while in the south they consume mainly rice. And I was told rice is considered more expensive in Xinjiang than noodles. And another thing is they have, of course, a huge sections for those dried grapes, dried figs, and a lot of different nuts. They had so many different spices, so many different nuts you could find. I was feeling it's like 100 different sellers and traders for this kind of dried nuts everywhere, and also for this kind of spices it was everywhere. So when you love spices, when you love cooking, it's super cheap and you could find probably anything you need for a very low price. This one here was quite interesting. It looks like the German Studentenfutter. It's like a very famous German mix of like nuts, some dried grapes and everything we mix together. We call it like student food, basically. It's very popular and famous in Germany. So I was surprised to see it over there. And then, of course, we had to buy different nuts and different mix for ourselves. It was about 250 grams of cashew nuts, I remember, was about $2. So I think for $2, about 200 grams of cashew nuts is very cheap. So you can see we bought some big bags of different nuts there to take with us for the trip and to enjoy it for the next days. Another thing, of course, they consume a lot is bread. That's not normal in the rest of China, but here they have a lot of different bread. They mainly have this naan bread together with the barbecue sticks, and for the barbecue sticks they get apparently the meat over here. All the meat is out basically just in the air. They don't use any cooling. What's very strange for us because we always would put the meat in the cooler, not here. And you see what was kind of disturbing, of course, the heads of the different animals. I don't know if they want to show you it's fresh or to make sure that you know, okay, this is camel meat, this is horse meat. This was mainly the three types of meats: camel, horse, and sheep. And you can see even like the little kiddo here was just playing around. He's probably a child of one of the sellers, and he was following us half the way through the meat market. And yeah, for him it was the normal life. That's how the people live there. No judgment. That's their way of life, I guess, for hundreds or even for thousands of years. It's their traditional way how to sell and how to prepare their food. You can see even here the people were just chilling, getting some fresh watermelon while next to them were the dead animals. That's a very normal way of their life. On another section, of course, they were selling clothes, a lot of shoes, like fake, like NKIE shoes, like probably Nike shoes or Adidas shoes, super cheap. You get for $3-4 some shoes for your children. And they have a lot of those blankets and carpets and very colorful fabrics. It's very colorful over there. Also colorful for the flowers they were selling. They had a big section also for all kind of different flowers. And next to the flowers, you could find organs. They were selling organs of animals without any cooling. Next to it, completely randomly, like perfume and drinks. So yeah, it's a little bit like usual or normal in China. Everything for us Europeans seems a little bit like chaotic or random. But yeah, they had everything. They had the fruits as well. A lot of like apples, bananas, and oranges. But I was surprised to see they also had mangoes. I didn't expect to find mangoes there. I'm not sure if they imported from Hainan, from southern China, or why they had so many of those mangoes. And there was also, of course, sellers with loud microphones praising their products, how healthy or how good they are for your body and how good they taste. Another big thing was their honey. They had a lot of honey, like those huge buckets here of honey. I was surprised to see that, but I'm not sure if it's real honey because many people say the honey in China is mainly fake. I trust and hope that's from the market, so it's original and real. And they had a lot of different antiques as well. So if you're a guy who likes to explore and seek maybe something very interesting from the antique market, they also have it here. A lot of different coins they found maybe, and a lot of other different things. And what is also very big and famous for Hotan, for this area in Xinjiang, is the white jade. They had a lot of jade, but this white jade is very famous and apparently only from this area, while the green jade is maybe from Yunnan as far as I remember. The white jade is very famous for this area, and there's a huge market somewhere else in the city as well where they sell all the different kind of jade, and people were super surprised that we showed them some euro currency because they never saw those euro currency before. After being in Hotan for about 3 days, visiting all the different sites and the markets, we went to Turpan, or how they call it locally, Tulufan. And after Turpan, we went to Urumqi, or how they call it, Urumqi. Check out my videos in the description to see the other cities.